run, and they'll be playing hard all the
NFL, and it is and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken at the 21-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it back. And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on second down. A second down throw for Bridgewater. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6.
Let's go.
On third down, Bridgewater. And he's able to find Diggs. And he's going to have the first down at about the 30.
You're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
It'll go as a gain of 12, and that leads to a Minnesota first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
Here's Bridgewater. He rifles one that's intercepted. There he goes left side. Picked off by T.J. McDonald. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
On second down, Bridgewater. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Michael Brockers able to swamp him from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback third and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah.
But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, a great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Looking to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Eric Kendricks. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And this is going to be incomplete. They were looking to find space there for Paul Perkins. And that brings up 4th down. So the Rams call on Johnny Hekker here to punt it away on 4th down.
And there's a good opportunity that just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
Eluding the pressure right. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way.
Blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case...
and he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. Paul Perkins, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Rams add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front.
They're really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That could be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Throwing again, Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds right at the 40. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And they'll run it here. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Strong grabs it over the middle. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. A 1st down throw for Bridgewater. And that's complete. It's Sims. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the 1st tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
From the red zone now, Bridgewater. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Timing is crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
On 3rd and 1, here's Bridgewater. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Now, they've got to be a little frustrated here to not complete that on 3rd down after having such a long drive going.
Hey, you're talking about going over 70 yards on the drive. Yeah, did you say a little frustrated?
Very frustrated.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm very frustrated. There's no doubt about it. They thought they were going to have a chance to cash in the end zone. Now it looks like it's likely a field goal attempt.
So now it's Andrew Franks on for the field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Frank's kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Back live now to begin the 2nd quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going, and they've got it here with a 1st down. They'll look to throw again. The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. That one will set them back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got time. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything. Nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
Completes it right side to Britt. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Bridgewater on 3rd and 2. Throwing right, and that's complete.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. Automatic first down.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And the big boys up front, they're going to...
The 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Second down, Bridgewater. Gets it to Strong. And that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Let's go. 90.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. Jalen Strong, the intended receiver. 3rd down here. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Rams will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over 1st and 10. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. As I watch that play unfold, stereotypes are being broken left and right. As a corner, you're often back there guarding against the pass. But how about that diagnosis and read and getting into the backfield and making a nice play and a tackle?
They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field. Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
This is taken at the 15. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Throwing, Bridgewater. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
We got three, fellas. We got three. Get ready. Blue 58.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. Flush to his right. And he finds a man on the crossing route. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Defense sinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, Bridgewater. Oh, he may have gotten lucky. Tried to dump it off underneath on the check down. Nearly picked. Instead, it's incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. He'll drop to throw. Britt's got it, complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. They'll get 17 yards there. And it'll be first down Rams. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Eric Kendricks in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted. It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target, and it's 4th down.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Bridgewater now on 2nd down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And now out on the field. Here comes Los Angeles. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now he'll look. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete. Here's Johnny Hekker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. So we have come to halftime, and what? All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On 2nd down, Perkins. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball. It doesn't work running the ball. And then something pops, and now you got something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
A dump off to the flat for Perkins. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back to the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Let's go.
Second down, Bridgewater. Flushed out right. And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete. And there we saw rolling right out of the pocket. Maybe his momentum taking him toward that sideline led him a little too far.
Yeah, that is difficult, isn't it? Plus, you're closing down your space, right? You're shortening the field for your receivers. And their inclination is to go towards the sidelines as fast as the quarterback is as well. Hard for them to throttle down to leave themselves with enough room to stay in bounds and catch the ball. On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now Perkins. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with 3rd down coming up.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll try to pick it up with Perkins. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
Here's Perkins on 1st down. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. They go play action here. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Eric Kendricks in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And they went empty backfield, and because of that, nobody was there to pick up the blitz.
And you know that offenses, when they go with the empty backfield, they have different things designed on every play to try to account for things. But what people often forget, defense is audible as well. And a lot of times when they see an empty backfield, they audible right into a blitzing situation.
Over the middle here to Brown. A very solid gain of 27. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first, this one from 38.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So he splits the uprights there, and I would imagine it's nice as a kicker. Right when it leaves your foot, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golfer that picks up his tee after a nice drive without even watching it land.
Solid analogy. I like it. And now out comes Minnesota. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. So 2nd down, 3 yards to go now. The 2nd down throw for Bridgewater. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Let's go.
A 1st down throw for Bridgewater. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Throwing again, Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. And he's got his man on the out route. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football, and that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he's able to find Diggs. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th.
Let's go. Blue 58.
Bridgewater now on 2nd down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Seventh play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. On 3rd down, Bridgewater. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Quick pass play there on the slant, Charles. Works out well for the offense.
The offense loves it. The defender hates it. Hard to get through the body of the receiver to get to the football trying to cover a slant.
Let's go.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on 1st. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that this...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Desperation time, 4th down, Bridgewater. He'll rifle this one deep, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And the Rams now coming out on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Again, they go to Perkins. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run.
Here we go now.
They run with Perkins. Give him 3 yards there, as that'll take us to 4th down. Here's Johnny Hekker now, standing just outside his own goal line. This is taken at the 23. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10.
Let's go.
A 2nd down throw for Bridgewater. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense.
On the same page with the guy throwing the football, because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zones, sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Bridgewater, and he comes back up 43 yards. And now a 1st down following that long gain.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And again, it's Bridgewater. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Their big tight end. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes, well, there's some excitement, right? Go for 2, and instead it gets picked off. And how about the return? Give them a lot of credit, though, for not giving up after the play.
Yeah, the troops rallied.
Exactly, and getting back there and making the tackle and not giving up 2 points themselves.
And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And in this situation with the lead, 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
out of the gun now on third down. Wilson snags it left side. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
This is taken around the 12. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. 1st down, Bridgewater. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. John Simon in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. And they're going to speed things up here. A 2nd down throw for Bridgewater. Now in desperation, and this is intercepted, and that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Perkins on 3rd down. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. That'll be their 2nd, so 1 more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. This is taken at about the 14. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Throwing again, Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. His throw incomplete.
And that one was knocked away, and I think the defenders are going to be a little upset with themselves. They made the play on the football, but that one felt like a forced pass by the quarterback. Thought he had someone open. He really wasn't. Maybe an example of having too much confidence in his receiver that no matter what, I'm going to throw it to him.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it. But it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times.
4 down, check.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that.